This is November 1 Delta, Uniform Charlie calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
You like that one? Is that the one you want, or you want that one? That one?
Kilo Echo 4 Lima Romeo Sierra. This is November 3 Alpha Radio Bravo.
Roger, 5-9 Georgia.
Welcome to Ham and Quackers. I am Junie N1DUC. This is my duck Mochi. Say hi, Mochi. You gonna say hi? You're a little shy tonight, huh? And this is my friend Karen, KD2GUT. Hello, Karen. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Junie. Really glad to be here tonight.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you were able to make it. Mochi's very happy to have you here too. So we're just going to do a real simple interview, and I know you have so much to say. You have a pretty cool background. So let's just start with this. Where are you from? Where do you live?
I'm in the New York metro area. I'm in Suffolk County, which is about an hour and a half east of New York City, depending on traffic. Oh, we don't want to talk about the traffic.
Right, we don't want to talk about traffic.
No.
I used to live in Connecticut and right on the shoreline, and that traffic can be pretty difficult. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So how long have you been a licensed ham? And what is your class of license currently?
Okay. I got my ticket in 2014 and upgraded from tech to general within a few weeks of that. And that's where my journey ends for now. So okay. I'm a general class. No time to study.
I'm a general class too, and I'm in the process of studying. I started and then I took a break because I was starting a YouTube channel. And when I first got my ticket, my technician, I had a little HT, and I was able to, because we live right across the pond from each other, so to say, the sound. There is a repeater system that is hooked up to the East Coast reflector, and there is a tower on Long Island, and I could actually hit that tower from my parents' backyard. So I got on my HT, and I heard this news thing that was going on. And I was like, what is this? And it's called Amateur Radio Newsline. And that you are involved with that. And I found this out because we befriended one another from the Long Island CW Club about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. I don't know. I've lost track of time.
Junie, it feels like a lifetime. I feel like I've known you a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, it always feels that way. So I just had a couple of questions for you about that. So can you educate the viewers about what Amateur Radio Newsline is?
Okay, Amateur Radio Newsline predates both of us. It was started by Bill Pasternak, Silent Key now, and a co-founder, and much loved newscast, global newscast, a big deal newscast, like the granddaddy of newscasts, the big kahuna. And when I became a ham, I didn't know about any of this really. I was on Facebook one day and I saw that somebody had posted something about they were looking for a writer to assist with Amateur Radio Newsline. Bill had a series of years where his health was very poor and they were looking for someone to assist him.
Okay.
And I said, well, gee, this is cool. Yeah, I could do this. I've been in the newspaper business. I have been a reporter and an editor in newspapers for many years. Let's just say many years. Not half bad job. Okay. I was still currently
mediocre.
Mediocre in this case. Mediocre. So unless I'm a media ogre, I could be that. But I contacted them and they said, oh, this is great. You're the only person who contacted us who doesn't want to be on the air. You really want to just write. It's like, well, yeah, sure. I'd love to do that. everybody wants to be the voice behind the microphone. I want to be
course.
the person hidden. In deep hiding, I hide behind my keyboard.
That's
So
okay.
it created the newscast. But see, the deal was I was going to help Bill, and boy, would I have loved to work with Bill Pasternak. The man was legendary, legendary. So the guys, that would be Skeeter Nash and Don Willibanks, spoke to Bill and showed him my email with my background, and he advised them to bring me on. Wow, this would have been so cool, right? And Bill passed away a few days later.
Mm.
Everything screeched to a halt. It was devastating. And the newscast went out of production for a good many weeks. And then the guys contacted me and said, look, we got to start this thing up. Make us a newscast. I was like, oh, Lord. I
Right.
was not a listener. Again, being very new to being a ham, I didn't know there were such things as podcasts and newscasts or anything like that. And I said, I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, okay, fake it till you make it. You know how to
Right.
write a news story. They're going to help you. The team really rallied to point me in the right direction, what was out there in terms of resources. And then, of course, I know how to report a story. So if I saw something that needed reporting, I could do that. Then I had
Right.
to meet we have a team of correspondents around the world. So I was talking to folks in New Zealand and in Australia and Europe. Our correspondents, they receive the stories I write. I decide what goes in each week. They record them. They do a beautiful job. We have an amazing team. And best of all, we all like one another, which is
That
neat.
is half the battle right there.
That is the
So,
neatest thing. That is because we know when we met up in Dayton for the first time, Eyeball QSO in, I think it was 2017. We were thinking, oh, well, we're going to all meet up. What if we don't like one another? That
and
was
you
a
all got
problem.
along.
We all
Yeah.
got along.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were like, we behaved badly.
And when did you start being an editor? What year?
Oh, that moment. They brought me
Oh,
on as editor. hmm
what year was that?
2015. It was only
2015.
like a month or two, maybe 3 months after Bill passed.
Okay.
It was scary.
Now,
It was scary stuff.
what
I didn't know
what
what I
is
was
the
doing.
oh, sorry. What is
Mhm.
the what content is there on Ham Radio Newsline? And
Oh,
how can one actually listen to it?
okay. Amateur Radio Newsline is carried on repeaters, such as the one you heard, and the one I believe you and I once had a QSO on, if I
Yes, we
remember
did.
correctly.
Mm-hmm.
It is carried on repeaters around the world. It is downloadable as a podcast. It is available on at least 2 shortwave stations, one of which is in Europe. It is heard on a repeater. We have a repeater in South Africa that carries us, and we have repeaters in, we don't have them, but we're carried by folks, Echolink. And if none of that works, people can go to arnewsline.org and download the
Very cool.
MP3. Mhm.
That's so cool. I think it's
So,
really neat. And from what I have heard when I listen to it, it's basically news.
it is
Sometimes
news.
it is local news or global news, and it's usually
Global, mainly news that applies to people. We don't get too local unless it's quirky
okay.
or unless the issue that's taking place at a local level is applicable elsewhere. Like if it's an issue with an HOA and
Okay.
the HOA is screaming about an antenna, well, yeah, maybe that only affects that one community, but we will run the story because so many listeners have HOA issues and we want people to know what's happening elsewhere.
Hey, that's important. That's really important.
Yeah, it
I
is.
was I was actually I don't usually listen to any news. I'm not real big on it. And when
Mhm.
I was on my HT and I received this, I think it's on Monday evenings that they play it
Okay.
on that East Coast Reflector. Um, and when I heard that, I actually enjoyed listening to it. It's actually really good content. So
Thank you.
that's why,
Thank you.
I really think it's important for viewers that are watching
Mhm.
right now to know about it, because it's something that I would have never known about unless I had that HT and was just listening.
Well, that
So on
means a
that one
lot.
frequency.
That
Yeah,
really means a lot. Not everybody enjoys news, and you
I,
know,
it's
I'm
the truth.
glad. I'm glad. Well, especially some of the news now, but we won't go
Yeah.
there.
Mm,
But yeah, we do like to report on well, a couple of categories. News you can use, news that you need to know, maybe something to do with the FCC, news that it's nice to know. You know, we will report um, about commercial radio stations sometimes because
okay.
a lot of our listeners are in the radio business. And sometimes we have quirky, funny stories. We try to have quirky, funny stories. I love those. Those are our
Well,
kickers. We just
hopefully I'll
love
be
that.
a quirky, funny story at some point.
You will.
Okay.
You're already on my radar, so you will
Excellent. Excellent.
indeed. You will, and your business partner, I should say, the
My
boss,
companion, yeah,
your
he really is the
boss,
boss.
your
I like to
manager
call
will.
I like to call him a quactor instead of an actor,
Ah,
right? Are you a
mm-hmm.
quactor? Yeah, you are. So,
Oh,
well, I mean, is there anything else you can add about ham radio or amateur radio newsline?
well, I think it performs a necessary service for hams. You know, you might say, well, why do we need a newscast? Because hams doing things inspire other hams. We are communicators, above and beyond anything else we do. Some people are makers and builders and they never get on the air. Some are hobbyists. Some are hams, they never use their license, but most of us are communicators, and we do this for the most part because we like to communicate. And I think part of that communication is serving the community, and every community makes news and deserves to have its story told. And our job is to tell this community's story. There are the kids who are just discovering what it is to key the mic and to have their voice heard on the ISS or maybe
Right.
in Europe. My God, that's such a thrill. Let's tell their
It
story.
is.
Mm-hmm. There were the
It is.
Silent Keys who, after a lifetime of giving back to amateur radio, they pass away. We tell their story. There are the hams who are pushing the edge of technology in digital development. We tell their story. There are so many. I don't want to say there were a million stories in the Naked City, um, but because that line's been used. But there are, for every ham, there's a story, and many, many, many of them are stories worth sharing.
Well, so outside of amateur radio newsline, what is a hobby you like to do, or is there a
Hmm.
particular animal that you really like
Oh, animal. Well, this now you mean other than ducks.
other than ducks? Yes.
I love ducks. And I love that duck. Well, there is, of course,
He loves
well,
you.
oh, this is good. He's my wingman. Well, in addition to my beloved horse Grigio, who is my heart and soul, uh, I take care, or I used to rehabilitate under my other license, my New York State license. I was a rehabilitator of wildlife, and I chose to help orphaned and injured squirrels. And that also changed my life in other ways. So it's nice to be able to, as you can see, work with animals.
Yes.
And
I
and
d-
as I, and as I can see from that, sometimes they are in charge.
yes, yes. He didn't like me moving his pad. It was a little
Don't move his pad.
I
Don't move
shifted
his
his
pad.
footing, so he's not
Don't.
very pleased with me.
No,
You're
no.
not pleased, are you?
You're going to hear about this later, Junie.
I'm sure I will.
You're going
I'm
to
sure I
be,
will.
he'll be up quacking at you all night.
I know. I know. Well, I am going to add a link below to a 501c group that you happen to know. And what was the name of that?
Okay, I don't know which one you chose. Was it the one in Pennsylvania, the Acorn Acres, or was it
Acorn
Four Wa?
Acres.
Okay, Acorn
Yes,
Acres is a
that
good
and
one.
the other one.
Oh, Four Wands Wildlife. Four Wands,
Oh,
Wands. They're in New Hampshire. These are good-hearted people who will go without sleep certain times of the year in order to monitor the most critical patients to make
a-
sure that they live.
and they're just amazing people. Some
Mhm.
people are just animal lovers, and I hope
Mhm.
that people will be able to donate or somehow support these groups. So I wanted to thank you for coming, Karen. It was a pleasure having you here. Mochi is very pleased to have you here too. What do you see? Do you see something special? Well, anyway, I'd like to say 73. Thank you everybody for watching. And this
Thank
is,
you.
yep, and this is Ham and Quackers. Thank you again, Karen.
Thank you, Junie.